Do you feel a little bit lost when you're listening to native English speakers? Today, I have found 5 tips that can make it easier to understand the native speaker. Now, let's talk about the first thing that you need to watch out for. Let's take a look at this example. You don't expect that the native speaker say or pronounce this word fully. Instead, they pronounce ya, ya. Take a look at these examples. How are ya? How are ya? I haven't seen ya in a while. Or the other common example, what do you do? What do you do? So the T in what and the O in do are disappearing completely, and they reduce the U into ya and say, what do you do? What do you do? The next word that you watch out for is to, and we often shorten it to ta. He told me to go without him. He told me to go without him. Some other common ways that it happens in real speech is with words want to becomes wanta, or sometimes we reduce even further to wanna that we use for I, we, you, and they. The next is wants to. Wants to becomes wants to. Wants to. For example, we wanna have tea. We wanna have tea, but he wants to have coffee. But he wants to. He wants to have coffee. We also have this in have to becomes have to. Has to becomes has to. They have to fix that software bug, and it has to be done today. And it has to be done today. Has to. Another super important thing that you absolutely must be aware of how the native speaker of English use when they're planning to do something in the future. Things like going to, but instead they say and pronounce this word gonna. Gonna. For example, I'm gonna book my flight. I'm gonna book my flight. You're gonna call them tomorrow. You're gonna call them tomorrow. Or the next example, it's gonna be a busy week. It's gonna be a busy week. Sometimes we reduce gonna even further. For example, I'm gonna becomes I'm gonna. I'm gonna apply for the job after all. I'm gonna apply for the job after all. This is very, very fast. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you for some new feedback. I'm gonna ask you for some new feedback. If you're finding this video helpful so far, I would be so glad if you hit the like button. Okay, the next thing I want to point out is off. Oftentimes it turns to sound ah. I have a different point of view. I have a different point of view. I have a different point of view. Let's take a look at other couple of examples. The product has all kinds of new features. The product has all kinds of new features. Most of them are kind. Most of them are kind. The other most common examples are kind of, kinda, a lot of, sort of, sorta, in front of, infronna, and out of, outa. Now move on to step number 5. There are many times that two sounds come together and make a totally new sound, which can be confusing and hard to understand if you're listening to. For example, when a word ends in T and the very next word begins with Y, that make the sound ch, ch sound. For example, don't you want to wait a little longer? Instead, the native speakers say that don't you, both sounds are right. Don't you want to wait a little longer? Or don't you want to wait a little longer? And when a word ends in D and the very next word begins in Y, so that makes the sound J. For example, did you apply for the job? Did you apply for the job? The D at the end of did and the Y at the beginning of you make the sound J. Did you apply for the job? Or did you apply for the job? So you're gonna hear something more like did ya or did you. Both sounds are right. A little bit warning at the end. You will hear everything that we're talking in this video so far. For example, would ya, did ya, point of view, how are ya. It is totally professional and acceptable to talk that way, but you cannot use them in business writing, such as email, PowerPoint slide, reports, and etc. Make sure to write each word properly. So that was all about this video. I hope you could find this video helpful and you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching and thank you for supporting my channel. See you in the next video. Bye bye.